So another example that we can solve using the substitution method as the previous video is going to be the following system of equations, which says 3x plus 2y equals 4, 2x plus y equals 1. Where do those two graphs collide? What is the coordinate of this point? Okay, so for the substitution method, remember that we have to inspect the system of equations, and one of the equations has to have a variable that's by itself. That's the easiest way to do substitution method when one of the variables is by itself. So in this case, we can see that there is a y that is by itself. So we have to solve for that y. That is going to be the first step into the substitution method. So I'm going to take the equation 2 in this case, equation 2, which is 2x plus y equals 1, and I have to solve for y. So y is my variable. This is what I have to solve for, right? Reach something that looks like y equals, and then an expression. So what do I have to do in here? I have to, can you see that you have a positive 2x? So it means that I have to subtract 2x from the left side. And then if I do that to the left side, I also have to do that to the right side of the equation so that I don't change the outcome of this. Okay, the left side is going to cancel out those x's, and the only thing that's going to remain in there is going to be y equals, and what remains in the right side, 1 minus 2x. So this is my new expression or my new equation, y equals 1 minus 2x, right? That's the first equation that, the first form of the transformed equation. I solve for one of those variables, the first step in substitution method. The next step is I have to take this expression that I just found. And since this says y equals, I have to replace the y in the other equation for the expression that I just found. And that should give me an equation with only x's in there. Okay, so my original equation, the equation 1, that's going to be 3x plus 2y equals 4. And this is where I'm going to substitute this expression in this y. So it's y equals, so I have to replace that into the y. So I'm going to rewrite my equation. The only thing that I'm going to replace is the y for a parenthesis. Y is going to be replaced for a parenthesis. And inside the parenthesis, I'm going to substitute 1 minus 2x, which is the expression that I found on the previous step. Now at this point, all I have to do is solve for x. So the first thing is I'm going to get rid of the parentheses. So I'm going to distribute this 2 times 1, that's going to be 2. Then 2 times negative 2x, that's negative 4x equals 4. I'm going to combine like terms on the left side of the equation. So 3x minus 4x, that's going to leave me with a negative x. Okay, combining those two terms equals 4. So now I have to send all the letters to one side and all the numbers to the other side. So in order to get rid of that negative sign, I'm going to add x to both sides. That's the first thing that I'm going to do. So now I have 2, those x's cancel out, 4 plus x. And then the next step is to send the numbers to the left side. So I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. So I reach something that looks like x equals, and then 2 minus 4, that's going to be negative 2, or x equals negative 2. So this is my first component of the solution. Okay, you solve for one of the equations, one of the variables, and then you substitute this expression into the other equation. So x equals negative 2. Now, the next thing that you have to do is back substitute. Now we are doing the back substitute. So I'm going to take that value of x equals negative 2 and substitute into any of the equations that I have in the system of equations, right? So which of those equations is going to be easier to substitute in? Again, the answer is you can take whichever you want as long as you do the solving correctly. But I'm going to take the second equation because there's a y by itself already. So all I have to do is substitute the negative 2 in the x, and it should be fairly simple to solve for the value for y. Okay, so I'm going to take my second equation, which is 2x plus y. 2x plus y equals 1. And then I'm going to replace all of the x's that I have in my equation for a -2. So first I'm going to replace for a parenthesis. That way I don't lose any signs. And then inside the parenthesis, I'm going to put the number, -2. This is, now I can solve for the variable y, and I'm going to have my result for the system of equations. So if I break that parenthesis, that's 2 times -2, that's -4, plus y equals 1. And then the last step, because I want to have the letters on one side and numbers on the other side, it's going to be adding 4. That's going to make the -4 disappear on the left, and it's going to take it to the right side. You add it to the left, you add it to the right side. Okay, so you cancel those out, and all you have left is y equals 1 plus 4, 5. So it looks like I have my two solutions, right? X equals -2 and y equals 5. So you want to write that as a ordered pair or the coordinate. That's the domain goes first, x, and then the y value goes last. Okay. If you do the checking, if you substitute these two values into both equations, the starting equations from the system, right? The first one, if you substitute those values into x and y, the result is going to be 4. If you substitute those into x and y in the second equation, the result is going to be 1. So you can do the check, make sure that your values always match or check